wants to go first?
Courtney, I'm Jason Barr with KCO9, the ABC station here in Tucson. Welcome here to the University of Arizona. What led you to want to become a Wildcat?
Just the relationship I built with Coach Floyd, and then talking to Kurt throughout my whole process of going through the NBA process, and then trying to figure out if that was the path I wanted to take. And then with me pulling my name out, I think Arizona did a good job from the beginning of just recruiting me and just showing me their vision of how they viewed me with the team. And I think me and Kurt relationship grew, and I wanted to be in the backcourt with him.
Do you see yourself more as a shooting guard or a point guard or a combo guard? How do you see yourself?
I mean, for me, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to win. I feel like if Coach needs me on the ball, I can do that. If he needs me off the ball, I can do that. And I think I've shown that throughout my career at Texas. I'm just ready to translate it here, too.
Hi, Courtney. Troy Hutchison, GoEasyCats.com. So once Arizona expressed interest in you, how quick was that process to getting you here on campus?
I didn't commit right away. I think I took my time and just wanted to weigh all my options and make sure I made the best decision. Because for me, I didn't know if I wanted to come back for my last year or if I wanted to stay pro. But taking my name out, Arizona was one of the schools in the long run that I knew I was going to be interested in if I did take my name out the draft. I just think it came down to me like playing style, opportunity, and just relationship. And I think with the coaches and players, I built that, and that's what led me coming.
My name is Brian Peterson. I'm with AZ Desert Swarm. When you were going through the draft process, did you get any particular feedback about what you needed to work on the most that made college the right idea?
A lot of things that I heard was they wanted to see what I wanted to do was stay in the draft or go back. I think with me going back, I felt like they didn't really give me as much feedback as I could have if I would have stayed in because they all felt like I was coming back anyways. So I think the biggest thing I need to work on is just showing I can do anything on the court, playing on the ball, off the ball, and just showing like I can win games too.
This program had a player in a similar position last year in Justin Kier. Have you had any opportunities to talk with him or saw what his role was with the team last year, and do you see it in a similar way?
Personally, I haven't had any conversations with him, but I watched every single game from last year with the university. So I saw his role, and I feel like he did what he had to do to provide for the team. And I just think for myself, I'm going to do the same thing. Like if it's scoring, if it's passing, if it's playing defense, I'm willing to do it all just to win games.
Courtney, Bruce Pasco with the Daily Star here in Tucson. What's your adjustment been like since you've been here? Have you worked out a lot with Kerr and the rest of the guys that are here? And
yes, I've been in the gym a lot. I think the biggest thing is just the playing style, just playing faster. I think last year we played in a slower pace, so it's playing faster, and then it's just adjusting to the heat. I feel like it's way hotter here than it was in Texas, so I think those are the biggest adjustments.
What's wackier with summer weather here or Austin?
This is definitely crazy. I got to walk around with a lot of water. Just got to be dehydrated. But I'm enjoying it so far. I'm just excited to be here and just excited to start playing games too.
Did you have, when you work out specifically with Kerr, I was wondering because you guys will be playing together a lot in the backcourt. What's been the dynamic like so far? Does it take a while to get to know each other? Do you have a feel?
Me and Kurt texted every day when I was going through the draft process, so we had a great connection there. Then playing with him for the first time a couple of weeks ago, you can just see that we can do special things because we both can shoot the ball. We both can play on and off the ball. I just think it's going to be fun just to play games with him, just with his energy, and I can just match that and just bring a lot of excitement for the fan base.
Go ahead.
Courtney, correct me if I'm wrong, did you play for Shaka Smart before you left Texas? How similar are the playing styles in terms of, because I know that's pretty much up-tempo there too.
I don't think it's exactly the same. I think Arizona played a little bit faster, but it's kind of similar. I feel like with Shaka, we played a more up-tempo style where it was more free-flowing, a lot of ball screen. And then I feel like last year it was more in a slower pace and it was a lot more motion. But, every coach has their own scheme, so.
The shot in the dark here because Bijan Robinson is from here. Did you know him at all or talk to him? Or?
I wouldn't say me and Bijan were best friends, but me and him communicated, I wouldn't say regularly, but we communicated enough throughout my time in Texas, so I can say I'm familiar with him.
Athletic complexes.
So I would go to football games. He would come to basketball games. When we were at the dining hall with each other, me and him spoke to each other. It was a great respect for both.
So you're friendly, even though you're probably not the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How did that come about?
Just being around each other. When you see another great player, you want to pick his brain. And he was just one of the people that I view at the university as doing the right thing, So why not be close to somebody that's living the same thing that you want to do?
Do you have any recommendations for you here in Tucson or places to go?
I didn't talk to him about coming to Arizona. That was strictly just between me and my family.
Jason Shear over at Wildcat Authority. I was just wondering, are you the type of player to set goals for yourself for this upcoming season?
For sure. I think every player should set goals, team goals, individual goals. I feel like looking at those every day is going to drive you when the days get hard, when the times get hard, when things go left. Looking at your goals throughout the season, and it's daily. It shouldn't just be season goals. It should be daily goals. I think those are the times where you push past all the hard times.
What type of individual goals do you have?
Individual, I mean, for me, of course, making all Pac-12 first or second team, defensive team. Then team goals, definitely win a national championship, Pac-12 championship, and just win as many games as possible. I feel like that's the main goal that I want to bring for the team.
What do you plan on studying while you're here?
I'm getting my master's. I'm doing education, so I graduated Texas with a sports management degree. So I'm gonna further that and try to get a master's in education.
Do you see yourself sometime maybe coaching?
Yeah. So my dad was my coach in high school, my AAU coach, and I told myself, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a coach. But just being around the game and just watching recruits come in, I kind of vision myself like being a head coach and like recruiting players, winning games, like changing programs, like just doing stuff like that. So I definitely want to be a college coach one day.
What's your father's name?
Terrell Ramey.
Terrell Ramey. And
Yes,
he was
sir.
your AAU coach?
Yes,
What was
sir.
the name of the team that you played for?
Ramey Jets United.
Ramey?
Ramey Jets United.
Okay.
Yep.
More pride out of the big defensive stop or a big basket?
Big stop. I feel like it's harder to stop a great offensive player. I feel like when you can do that, then it just empowers the crowd and the team. And then, like, for me, I feel like last year I had to adjust my role in being a better defender. So that was the role I took on last year. So getting that big stop, getting that rebound, throwing the ball in the air, running to the crowd is definitely special.
The two wings here both get drafted in the first round. Does that make coming here seem kind of tempting, or you don't really think about that?
I mean, the biggest thing for me was just the opportunity. I talked to Dalen before I came, and I just asked him a couple questions about the program. He was still on the fence of coming back or not, but it was good for the university for those two players to get drafted. I think for me it was just the opportunity just to play with a player like Kerr and just play in a good program and have a good coach that's believing in me. I think that was the biggest selling point for me.
Obviously, you're probably not going to share that full conversation with Dalen, but what's one thing that he said, a takeaway from Coach Lloyd that stood out to you?
That he believed in Dalen. I mean, Dalen proved a lot of people wrong by going first round. I think Coach Lloyd had a lot to do with that. So for me, if he can do that for Dalen, I feel like he was going to do the same for me. So having a coach believe in you as a basketball player goes a long way. So I feel like that's the type of confidence that I needed from my head coach.
I know it's early, but what players have stuck out to you in practice that you've gone against?
Every
so
single
far?
player since I've been here, everybody's showing flashes. That's how it's going to be early. I feel like every player's definitely proving their point of why they're at the university. So it's been fun so far to play with them.
Well, there's certain areas where you, just in general, where you say, hey, this team could be really good at this or that, or, strong points that kind of jumped out.
I mean, I think for me, it's just still getting used to everything. I wasn't here last year. I played in a whole different conference, whole different league, whole different style. So I'm still trying to get used to the playing style and just get used to playing with the players that I'm with now. So I think as time will tell, I'll have a better judgment of how good the team can be. I think it's too early right now to be like, oh, this is the cap on the team.
How about the last year, Tommy, Dalen was one of them handling the ball as well as Kerr, sometimes other guys. I mean, how do you expect that to play out this year? I mean, do you think that you and Kerr could be sharing ball handling abilities equally, or, do you think one or the other is more likely to do?
I mean, if Kerr has a matchup that he likes, I'm going to let him have the ball. If I have a matchup that I like, I expect him to let me have the ball. So I don't think it's like, oh, it's going to be 50-50 or 70-30. I think we're both ball players, and we know what's best for the team. I think Coach Lloyd knows the same thing. So I don't think it's just like, oh, Kerr, you're the primary ball handler, and Courtney, you're the primary too. I think he's going to do whatever's best for the team. And I think that's ultimately up to him and his decision-making.
Have you watched any, I don't know if you saw any games here last year, or since you've been here, have you watched any film just to see what guys did last year out of curiosity? Or?
Yeah, so every school that recruited me, like the Final Five schools, I watched every single game they played last year before I came.
Locking in defensively and stopping the guy being your favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in the Big 12, playing Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, tougher teams. Arizona kind of struggled with those physical matchups. Is that something that, you pride yourself in bringing here to Tucson?
Big 12 was a battle all 4 years that I was in it, especially last year. I think every team was good. So coming here, I feel like I can bring that over to the team and just show them what I did in my league, and they can show me what they did in their league. And I think that's kind of what's the interest and kind of intrigued me to come here, because I didn't play in a league like the Pac-12 where it's a free-flowing offensive league. I think the Big 12 is a defensive league. So coming here, I think it's going to allow me to grow as an offensive player, having more freedom. And then like I can just bring over the things I did in my league and just show them on the defensive end.
Have you gotten to know Cedric at all too? It seems like you guys are kind of, experienced, kind of lead.
Yeah, so
guys.
Cedric's my roommate, so I'm with him every day. Yeah.
What's he been like? How you guys, what's kind of, how's that going with him?
I mean, Cedric's like me. He's in the gym all the time. He wants to win. He wants to perfect his craft. I think he came up with the same goal that I did. We want to win games, and then that's about it.
Anything else? What's your plans the rest of the summer? Are you going to stay here most of the time, or are you get back?
I mean, I got here kind of late. I got here in July, and I just been grinding in the gym every day. I feel like that's probably the best thing for me is just continue to keep the progress that I'm making. I don't want to take any steps back while taking a break. So I feel like I haven't made a set plan if I'm gonna stay here or if I'm gonna go somewhere else. But I just know I'm gonna keep working out wherever I go.
All good. All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Courtney.
Okay.